Hi, my name is Elaine Peterson, and I'm the Director of Dining Services here at Carroll Lutheran Village. We are excited to be partnering with Sodexo and bringing in this first of what we hope is going to be many challenges throughout the country. We have 3 teams competing today. All have had worked for the last couple of days to prepare their presentation for the judges. There are 5 judges that are going to be previewing what is being presented and making their judgments and scoring our contestants. So it's really an exciting time for us.
We're here today at Carroll Lutheran Village in the kitchen at the Hospitality Center, and I'm with Chris Spear, our executive chef at Carroll Lutheran Village, and he's part of the Sodexo Chef Challenge that's taking place today here on our campus. Chris, tell them about your dish.
What we have here is a braised pork cheek. I cooked it down in some local Maryland red wine. I used a Elk Run Cabernet Sauvignon, and it has some ramps, which are wild spring leeks. It's kind of, chefs get crazy for them. It's a small growing season. They're challenging to find as far as a retail consumer. You know, I don't think there's even any grocery stores around here you can walk into and get them right now. I think they go most into professional kitchens. So what I've done is I just took the green and braised them down with a little Vidal Blanc wine to give them a little sweetness. I'm going to pour the rest of this broth over these pig cheeks and just let them simmer down for another couple of hours, and they're going to be delicious.
From Knollwood, I think it's Chef Peter Gems and Jim Wright who are going to be with us. We also have from Brandon Oaks. Knollwood is from the Washington, D.C. area, and Brandon Oaks is from Virginia. And from Virginia, we have the team of Chef Warren Jones and Nora Robbins. And believe me, they've been working really hard, these teams. And for the hometown favorites of the Carroll Lutheran Village, we have BJ Chase, Chris Spears. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch the work that they have been about, some sampling that's going to take place. But we also have some very distinguished judges. And I'd like to take a moment to introduce our distinguished judges who are going to make or break the success of this event. We'll start with Al Fry from the Sodexo organization. Al, say hi.
Hello.
Next to Al is Robin Aller. Robin is, I guess, affiliated with McDaniel College and is on our community advisory committee and has been a food critic, I understand, in her life. So we welcome her as some of our local talent here in Carroll County. All right. Next to her is James Taylor. And James is the president of the Senior Living Division for Sodexo. We're one-time friends in this group and help us with that as well. And as I work down, Melissa Radford from Leading Age is our non-profit national association. So Melissa joins us as the Vice President of Member Relations and Board Development for Leading Age. She knows Carroll Lutheran quite well and has been active in doing some board education at Carroll Lutheran Village and trying to keep me out of trouble. And last and definitely not least, from downtown Baltimore and the National Aquarium Institute of Baltimore, Maryland, is Beth Abdul. I'm going to blow it. Abaldo. I knew. My apologies. Beth is the senior manager for Sodexo at the National Aquarium. So Beth Abaldo. And last but not least, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Linda Boothroyd, who is the senior manager of Sodexo Dining and Culinary Services. And it's really Linda and our team Elaine Peterson have really worked real hard to make this event come together, and so we want to thank Linda for all her energy. Linda?
Well, thank you all for coming this afternoon to the first event. I know I've spoken with some of you that came earlier to watch the residents do some of the cooking and talk about what they were doing and describe some of the things that they've learned over the last couple of days. They have worked so hard. We've actually had to ask her to sit down a couple times and be like, you need to slow down. She's like, what's next, what's next? So they've really had a good time, and I know they're really excited to have all you here to support them. This is the first of one event that I'm hoping will become something that we'll do as at a national level. We're trying to engage the residents. Part of the concept was to engage the residents who are interested in culinary cooking or either used to cook or have culinary background, to give them the opportunity to work with ingredients that they've never worked with before. And I think when you listen to the chefs describe their dishes, you're going to hear of some extremely interesting techniques and ingredients that they've been using over the last couple of days. Give them an opportunity to work with a trained chef and work in a competition-style environment. You've already met the judges, so the chefs are going to come out with their dishes, and they will be critiqued on flavor, texture, balance, creativity, and presentation. Once the judges have tasted all the food, they have ballots. They're going to go through the judging, and then Elaine and I will go and tally them up. Afterwards, we're going to have a tasting plate party with wine, which you already have, where you'll get to meet the chefs, talk about some of the ingredients, and taste the wonderful foods that the judge is going to taste today. So, at this point, Chris is getting ready to come out. He's our first chef judge. He will be describing his dishes when he arrives. And at this point, we're going to let the judges decide whose cuisine will reign supreme. So in a moment, we'll have Chris out here. All right, thank you.
And if I ask your cooperation, please make sure each and every one of our teams are really appreciated, because there's a lot of hard work that goes beyond this. So give them all a round of applause each time they come out. And here's Chris.
So without further ado, Chris's dishes are coming out, and he's going to begin to describe them.
Good evening. There's a couple of things I really want to do when we set out to do this tonight. You know, I think as chefs, we kind of need to look at availability of product, about pricing, about how we utilize a lot of things. And BJ and I kind of started looking at what are byproducts, what are things that are not traditionally used. So the first thing we have tonight is we're doing a pig's head 3 ways. We boil the pig's head. When the plate comes out, it's going to be like a traditional charcuterie plate. We made a head cheese. It's got some pickled peppers, some celery leaves, something people usually get rid of. It has some sautéed ramps, which are a wild spring leek. Then we have a torchon, which is fried. It's a pig's head roulade. It's going to be served on top of some bitter greens with an apricot vinaigrette. And then the third piece is going to be a rillettes, which is, we took the cheeks, we braised it down in its own fat, we pureed it up, and we served it on a rye bread crostini. And the great thing about this is BJ came to it with some of her own ideas. She brought a recipe for Dijon mustard, which comes under the pig's head. She brought the recipe for the pickles that we used on the plate. We made a pickled enoki mushrooms, a pickled cantaloupe, and a pickled watermelon rind. Once again, the watermelon rind is something that's not traditionally used. So that was kind of the approach we took when we started doing the dishes. After that, there is my play on shrimp and grits, which is called Scallop Southern Inspiration. For me, shrimp and grits are grits with cheese, shrimp, some stewed tomatoes, maybe some beer, some bacon. So what you have is a seared sea scallop on a bed of smoked Gouda cream of wheat. There's a stewed tomato sauce. We made it as a nice puree. There's a country ham powder, and then a bacon powder. And then there's some, once again, some of those ramps that we braised up. And then for dessert, my inspiration was a cocktail called The Last Word, which is equal parts lime juice, green chartreuse, maraschino liqueur, and gin. So we made a lime curd, we made a green chartreuse sabayon, a Bombay Sapphire gin maraschino cherry sauce, and then there's a little corn pop gin crumble on the top. So that's what we have going on for you. And this is BJ, if you don't know, and like I said, BJ. She did things that I don't know some of my cooks would do. I mean, she was helping butcher the pig's head. She was helping pick it apart when it came out of the stock. We were sitting there tearing into it, and she said, "Oh, you missed some more meat," you know, and we really went at it whole hog, if you will. So, and the one thing I forgot, I'm a home brewer. So for me, shrimp and grits is beer. There's my own. It's a jalapeno pale ale, served as a little 3-ounce shooter to go with the shrimp and grits course, or the scallop and cream of wheat course, if you will. Thank you. All right.
I think the chefs did a phenomenal job in the texture, and I think the question was asked around balance. They had something that was actually fried and had a crust to it, and the meat, the pork that was in it was well seasoned. And then they put a dish together, a gel type shape mold on the opposite end of fried, and with a cool temperature mixed in with some greens and pork, very well prepared. And then they toasted off a little crostini here and just had pure meat sitting on top of it, the pork side of it that was very well flavored. So it gave your palate an opportunity to taste something cool, something fried, and something crunchy. So I was very pleased with how they presented the first dish.
The seared sea scallops. What a really nice presentation, and this would make a really great first course for a many course meal. Definitely a great balance of flavors. There's a good seared grilled mark to the flavor to that scallop, as well as with some sautéed greens and a bacon powder that they put there. I mean, just a great combination, and what a great way to start off the meal.
Well, as soon as he said bacon powder, I thought, wow, bacon away, I've never had it. And you add that with the scallop, and as my colleagues up here said, just exquisite. And this beer, I'm not a big beer drinker, but it is so smooth. It just is really, I wasn't expecting that from a home brew. So it was a wonderful compliment.
The flavors in the green, which is based on chartreuse, very much, it's very tangy, has a great flavor, and it's very, very smooth. And then there's this crispy corn. I don't remember what's on the top.
It's a gin sugar. It's actually a gin sugar.
A gin sugar on the top. It's fantastic.
While James was thinking, and he mentioned that you're going to really enjoy this, I was thinking, boy, it's kind of cruel we don't give you anything to eat while we're up here tasting everything. But it's definitely worth the wait. I mean, those three dishes were, of all the competitions I've judged, are some of the tops that I've had. I mean, that was absolutely incredible work. Outstanding.
I would say I'm also sort of a gin purist, but I thought the dessert was really creative, a creative use of. If you're going to use gin in anything other than a martini, something with a nice Sauvignon, which was lovely, worked very well. Yeah. Oh, and as also, one of my favorite dishes is shrimp and grits. So I loved the take with the scallop, which is Al and James both said was perfectly done. The Gouda was just right, not overpowering at all, really, really perfect. I think the only thing that I would have liked to have seen was maybe a little more of the greens. I love the use of that the local ramps. This time of year, you don't get them very often, and I love that. I'd just like to have seen more of that.
It'd be interesting for this crowd to know a little bit about how you've come up through the ranks and in this industry, and I think in a pretty cool way.
Thank you, Gary. I share all the time that my first job in college was a dishwasher. And I say all the time that I worked my way down from there to now president of our division. I say all the time it was my favorite job. And I say that because the meal that we're eating today couldn't be made possible unless the glasses were clean, unless the plate was clean. And that's the pride I took in being a dishwasher.
We have here in the audience in the peanut gallery some young talent that has come up through the ranks, and I thought it was real important for them to hear that a little bit. We have a scholarship program here that we encourage young students to grow in the organization, and it's been kind of part of our mantra, and I had to seize the moment.
Yeah,
I hope you don't mind.
Not a worry. And I would say to the young students that are coming through, you really have to be an expert at what it is that you're calling your field. So stay in school, study hard, and really understand the business of food, because food is very complex and dynamic, but it's something that's very easily learned. But also I add to that, live your dream. So this is a passion of yours, why not be the best at it? And so as I tell my team, when you step out of bed every morning, are you excited about what it is that you're doing? Because when you do that, you really never work another day in your life.
Beef tenderloin has been sliced thinly. And then you normally would have spinach inside and that wild mushroom paste, but I already disposed of that because that's, you know. And you put that in, you roll it up tightly, and this is called cow fat, which is the fat from the inner lining of the cow when you process it. And what it does is, since your tenderloin is one of the lowest in fat, you need to add a little fat back to flavor. This does it. Put it in there, we roll it in like this. This is sauteed on the outside, and then when you roast it, all this cow fat disappears just goes into the meat. Makes it keep it nice and moist and sweet. About all we're going to be doing until about another 5 or 10 minutes. They're really starting to do the cooking.
All right, well, Peter Gems from Millwood and Jim Wright are coming out with their dishes. Unbelievable stuff I'm seeing in here. I mean, these plates are just amazing. So we'll get the 3 dishes down. Judges will taste them. Peter's going to come out and describe his dishes with his resident chef. Additionally, worked very hard. I know some of you were watching earlier on, and Jim was talking about the caul fat and how we used it to lard the beef. It was very interesting to see him work with it. You don't often see that used. It's a very French technique. But I won't give too much more away because this is Peter's show. And I am happy to introduce Peter and Jim and Chef.
First course is a chilled rhubarb. The reason
just hold it close to your mouth.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Our first course is a chilled rhubarb. The reason we did this is because rhubarb is one of those things that nobody ever uses anymore. Restaurants don't even have it, so we thought it'd be a nice, light spring soup. And it also has a mascarpone pistachio dumpling, which is very creamy, so lends to the tartness of the soup. Our second dish is a southwestern tuna Napoleon. We did yuca chips, we did a gazpacho type relish, did some flavored oils, and some nice rare human crusted seared tuna. We just started layering it. The entree is a veal and beef roulade, which has mushroom dixelle in it, which that's actually a course that you'll be tasting. And it's on top of some seared rapini greens, and it comes with some potato beignets, which essentially are potato fritters that have ricotta cheese in them. And the sauce with this dish is a lobster bordelaise with lobster marrow. Thank you.
tell you, I want to be completely transparent, and I'm not giving away how I voted, but I did give my first all fives to a dish. Phenomenal. And I won't repeat what Melissa said or what Al said, but the tuna dish was absolutely phenomenal. The beef and lamb was well seasoned. I think it had a lot of good texture to it with the rapini, with the potato, the way that it was fried, and the center was soft and very flavorful. And to be able to take the lamb and dip it in with, now I'm teasing you because you're probably saying stop doing that, but to get the rapini to go with it, and when it hits the back of your palate, your mouth just explodes with flavor. So you're really going to really enjoy that.
All right, third time, here we go. Here's Linda.
Yay. All right, our next resident team is from Brandon Oaks in Roanoke, Virginia. Warren Jones and Dora Roberts, and as I said, today is Dora Roberts' 83rd birthday. So she can say when she looks back that she did a chef's competition on her 83rd birthday. I certainly hope I can say that when I'm 83. So, the dishes are following up. Warren Jones. Should we sing happy birthday to Dora? Yes, let's sing. We have some time. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dora. Happy birthday to you. All right, well, and the dishes are out, and wow, they look spectacular. So I'm going to let you describe them. All right?
All right. How are y'all doing tonight? What we started with is French berries, spring berries, with a lavender ginger syrup and a meringue cookie. The entree is a bass with a miso glaze. Asparagus, a mimosa with a champagne vinaigrette, and then a wonton ravioli with carrots and turnips and a nice orange glaze across the top. And then we're finishing with a lemon sugar crepe with sauteed apples and a little chantilly cream on top, sort of an apple pie. We'll be serving the bass, the asparagus, and the wontons at our table. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Chef. Thank you very much. I'm sure people will have questions for you when you get to the station.
Go ahead. Don't mind me. Getting between chef and food is like getting between my kid and Star Wars.
I will say the berries were a very simple but elegant dish. The syrup brought it to life, and the meringue cookie was phenomenal. So to take that berry and to add a simple type syrup to it with the meringue cookie, it gives you the texture, it gives you the sweetness, and it brings to life just the berry side of it. On the main course, the fish was very good. It was very well seasoned. The texture of it was very well prepared, and very pleased with the dish.
I was delighted by the asparagus on this on the main dish. It's just yummy. It just has some really unexpected flavors to it. We talked at the beginning about balance and texture, and it really complements the wonton and the sea bass. And to echo what James had said, you know, you just see spring berries and you think, that's no big deal. But oh wow, just the simplicity, and to be able to cleanse your palate and really make room for that richer meal that you're about to have after. And now I'm enjoying the third course, and I was gonna say, you know, we get to eat, but you guys get to have drinks. You know, we're just here with the water, but I do think we're getting the better end of this deal. So,
I started with dessert. Seemed like a good idea. The dessert was fantastic. It's a almost deconstructed apple pie that's got these great caramelized walnuts in it and a little creme anglaise. And it just, the pastry is just perfect. And then I followed that up with salad with berries, which Melissa and I both actually went, wow, as we ate them. And then the fish and the asparagus, everything in and of itself is wonderful, but all together, it's absolutely perfect.
Of these three courses, I agree with James. They were done very simply, very elegant, and the flavors stood out by themselves. So in every dish, I could taste each ingredient very distinctly, and it was a real nice job and combination of flavors and definitely different textures from very crunchy to very soft and sweet and tart. So there was a lot of different flavors going on. And definitely was a very nice job as well.
I do think, yeah, the berries starting out a meal is a really interesting, and I would suggest I'm going to try that myself sometime because it really does cleanse the palate and prepare you for the rest of the meal. That light ginger lavender syrup was just right and not overpowering. The fish is very mild and will hold up to the strength of the miso and that. And then oh gosh, the apple pie is really heaven in a balance of textures there. So we've got our work cut out for us.
The tallying is about to occur. And during that time, I want to take the opportunity to talk about not only the event itself, but really the opportunity of why we've gathered together today. So I'm going to ask Todd Andrews, the Vice President of Operations for Sodexo, to come forward. One of my cohorts in crime that we work together. Todd's going to talk a little bit about Sodexo and its hunger initiative, and then we have a presentation.
Thank you, Gary. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I know you've enjoyed watching and you can't wait to get to taste, so I won't take up too much time, because I was told by somebody in the back if I talk too long I'd get the hook. Anyways, the reason we're here today is not only to showcase the chefs and the residents, but also to showcase our focus organizationally, as Carroll Lutheran does the same, on helping to stop hunger across the world. And as Gary said earlier, the proceeds for today are going completely to a local charity, and actually I'm going to ask Ed to come up front, and we have a little presentation to do.
Pretty big.
This is our modified version of the big check, and we'd like to present this to the Carroll County Food Sunday, right? And it's a check for $1,000, and we're very grateful for all of you to be able to come today to help us in being able to do this. It's very important for Sodexo as an organization to help stamp out hunger across the world, and I could spend hours talking to you about that initiative, but let's just say it simply. It's a passion for all of us to not only be able to serve food and bring good food to people, but also to help people that are less fortunate. So as you think about what you want to do for helping support charities, please consider the Carroll County Food Sunday.
I want to mention Ed Leister is a member of the Carroll Lutheran Village Board today, but was a founding member about 30 years ago. He happens to be the president of the board, or the chair of the board, as a baby. Yeah, it's a very infant. He's a little whipped behind the ears back then, and hair was a little different, but so was mine when I came. He is also the chair of the board of Carroll Food Sunday, and so I'm going to ask if Ed can maybe take a few moments, say a couple words.
I promise I'll be brief. I do want to thank you all very much. I will tell you that Carroll County Food Sunday is celebrating its 30th year this year. It was started in 1982 by Dominic Jolly, who went around and collected food in the trunk of his car and delivered it to people that need it. Today, we're feeding 650 families every week. They can come to our door, and we give them enough food, depending on the size of their family, to last 4 days. Our budget this year is $368,000. We have to raise this money on our own, and we're also budgeting, we hope, for 100,000 pounds of food to be donated as well. That budget will give me a deficit of $23,000 if it meets that. So we're going to have to do some professional fundraising this year. We serve about 8,000 pounds of food a week. That's a lot of food. But we do this for the citizens of this county. The only thing you have to do is be a resident of Carroll County. We ask no other questions. It doesn't matter what your income is. It doesn't matter about anything else. If you're hungry and you need food, we feed you. And I thank Sodexo very much. This $1,000 will go a long way towards my deficit. Thank you.
I do know we have a number of our residents who participated in very active ways with Carroll Food Sunday, and I know we do an annual appeal. So this was just an event where, in partnership with Sodexo, we could make an impact. So Ed, thank you, and all the best in your future endeavors. They're vitally important in our community, so thank you. Todd, you and Sodexo, thank you so much for this event, and the best is yet to come, because we have some competition awards to come in the near future, and then we get a chance to taste some of the good work that you've been watching patiently, and soon we get to experience it ourselves. So stay tuned, almost there. The tally is in, the results are in. Are you ready? Are you bringing the chefs in?
All the chefs up front and center.
How about we have you off to the side so that we can...
Come on, Dora, get in there. Chefs, and once again, I want to thank you guys for all your hard work. It's been so amazing watching what you've been doing the last couple of days, the effort you've put in, all the ingredients you brought to the table, and it's really been an amazing event. And I want to thank each and every one of you for all your hard work, and how proud I am to be a member of your team and have you on my team, vice versa. All right, without that, we will let them announce the winner.
All right, team, you ready? First off, I've just learned the results, and we're going to announce to you, but you need to know this was a very, very tight competition. And we have had some extraordinary offerings tonight. So how about a round of applause for all three teams? And the bronze award goes to, all right, first the score, 213.5.
Out of how many?
Out of, yeah, well, a total of
25 times 5.
525.
525. There we go.
No, 225.
225 points, and 213.5 goes to bronze winner, Brandon Oakes. Congratulations.
We have some awards for everybody. These are little statues that say Sodexo Senior Chef Challenge with the date, and it has a bronze award on it out of a little frying pan, which I thought was a little bit Congratulations. You're okay. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The silver award goes to, with 310 points, goes to, but first we have to take a break for the message from our sponsor. Isn't that how it's done?
Yes.
Isn't that the way it's done? No? You really want to know?
Yes.
Oh, come on.
Knollwood Silver Award.
Congratulations. Yep, let's have a...
You guys are not being
We're not being photogenic.
photo friendly.
All right, here we go.
Carroll Lutheran Village got first place.
And with a score of 329.5 points, the gold award goes to Carroll Lutheran Village. Again, please give a round of applause to all three. They work exceedingly hard. This is a great first-time event. This may take on some velocity, and down the road this could be a national event that happens across our country with a number of retirement communities, but it started right here.
Good.
Congratulations, teams.
Yeah.
A couple of the thank yous before we actually get into eating. If I may pull out my script to make sure I don't miss anyone. Oh, something else. There you go. So, a couple thank yous. First off, 5 wonderful judges. You got to know them a little bit through their comments. This will be an annual event with a whole lot more fun each and every time. A lot of fun. So, actually, there's already a debate between McDaniel College and Carroll Lutheran. We may do a local competition. That's what we're thinking. So, Judy Peel, I saw Judy's over here. Judy, you and your social committee, thank you very much for all that you've done. Ticket sales to get this audience together. Thank you. Our guests from Knollwood. Come back often. We like you here. You're always welcome. And of course, the residents and guests at Carroll Lutheran Village, all those who came here, participated, bought a ticket for a good cause, and hopefully enjoy the moment. The best is yet to come. You get to taste it. And as always, our incredible dining staff and the hard work. The energy in the kitchen, you should have seen it the last couple of days as our staff kind of worked around and supported. They knew it was happening. It really bumps up the morale of everybody, and it's a good crew. We very much appreciate their hard work as well. Thank you, Elaine. And Todd Andrews, there he is. Thank you for your participation, underwriting 100% of the expenses related to this, making a contribution, matching the ticket price that we have here to go to Carroll Food Sunday. Sodexo is a wonderful partner. We enjoy the relationship, and thank you very much for being part of this. And then there's Linda and Elaine, the real people that grease the wheels to make this happen. This is their baby. They worked exceedingly hard. They really deserve a round of applause. Linda.
Thanks for watching. This has been a great competition, Sodexo Senior Chef Cook-Off, and we've entertained today 3 facilities who are continuing care retirement communities that Sodexo Senior Services serves. Carroll Lutheran Village, of course, is our local option, and then we've had Knollwood from Washington, D.C., and Braden Oaks from Roanoke, Virginia. In the order of winnings, Braden Oaks came in 3rd, Knollwood came in 2nd, and hooray for the local winner, Carroll Lutheran Village. I'm Hermine Saunders, Director of Church and Public Relations at Carroll Lutheran Village, and I thank you for watching, and I thank Carroll Media Center for bringing this program to you today.